'Cause I got issues.
Having some issues? Kat can help you out with the help of our listeners. Kat Chat starts now on Y107.
She's dating two guys at once and planning to test both of them against one another to find the one. Susie is playing her cards carefully. She's dating these two guys. Neither one of them knows about the other, and she's testing them against one another to figure out who's the best husband material. One guy's got money, security, and he's ready for marriage, but the emotional connection isn't as strong as the other relationship. She wants him to open up more. The other guy, her heart's all in, but his bank account is not big enough. Like, he doesn't make the money that the other guy makes. So here's her plan. She's going to give them both a list of what she needs in a husband, and then she's going to give them a deadline to step it up. So whoever delivers first or best is going to win her heart and her future. So her friends are like, this is a terrible, horrible thing to do, a horrible idea, and you're going to lose them both. But Susie's like, I want it all, and I'm not sorry for that.
Taylor on the Facebook page, Y107 Morning Show from Como, says she's in relationship for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
Both are bound to fail.
And Casey says, this makes me think of, like, Shallow Hal. Like,
Yes.
Sounds like a really crappy plan. Completely agree.
You can end up alone with your cats. Meow.
Yes. Oh, boy. What do you think, Ben Mo? Call me.
On an all-new shocking and dramatic Susie's World. Tonight on ABC.
Yeah, too much. Like, we were talking about it earlier, and you're like, yeah, this is too much.
Reality show stuff.
Yeah. So I think that Tiffany on the Y107 Morning Show Facebook page, she says, you know, both relationships are already based on a lie. You know, I wonder what would happen if the guys knew each other or knew about each other. What would happen? How would they react? And she hates hearing this, you know, because Susie, you're using two men to figure out your own life, and that just sounds sucky.
I mean, they're going to meet at the rose ceremony, right? That's done at Las Margs' rose ceremony tonight, like happy hour, 5 o'clock. Sean's on the phone from Como for Cat Chat. Sean, what are you thinking, dude?
I'm sorry. I think this is totally ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, it's like, come on, like this isn't a movie. You don't get to have everything that you want. Life is making concessions, and like, if you really like someone, then okay, whatever, they don't have money. Or if you want money, then just go take it. You don't get to have everything.
This is somebody that's watched too much Bachelorette, too much whatever it's in Paradise Island and whatever.
Yeah, Bachelor in Paradise.
Seriously, like a warped sense of this Kardashian world or something. Like she lives in something that's not real.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a plot to a movie or something. I'm like, sorry, you don't get that. That's ridiculous.
Join the Cat Chat now. 441-Y107.
Hey, Marley from Columbia. How's it going?
I think this is actually a really interesting idea. I'm kind of on her side about this. Maybe not so, like, just having a printed out list is a little too intense, but I do support her kind of standing up for what she's looking for and being really direct about what she wants.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I don't know, having like a very strict deadline, if she kind of wants to keep that to herself, maybe. But I do think that she's going to be able to decide who's the right match based on who responds to what she wants. I don't think it's a bad thing to have a list, if you will.
Yeah, like I had a list, you know, before I met Cosmo. I was like, okay, here's my non-negotiables. But it wasn't superficial things, you know, it was like things that were like, okay, he's got to, you know, love my kids like his own and me his, you know, and stuff like that.
He's
you know,
be
it
really
was like
clumsy and get hurt all the time. Yep.
No.
Scratch that off the list.
He's
That's
got to
me.
treat me like a princess, you know, and stuff like that. And then I respect him, you know, and treat him like a king, you know, and stuff like that. So they weren't things like he's got to have a lot of money and good looks. And he's got to be tall enough where I have to tilt my head back to kiss him. And, you know, I mean, it's not and a deep connection. You know, it's not all that. Yeah. Like, it wasn't all that
So
stuff.
you're saying go for it. You do you, girl, and have your list and help make a decision that way.
Yeah, I mean, ask for what you want.
But keep the list to yourself.
Yeah, well, maybe that. Yeah, I think having a written down list is a little intense, but saying it, having that conversation with each one of them, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Cat Chat starts now on Y107.
The full story, of course, is up on our Y107 Morning Show Facebook page. But long story short is, playing two people against one another without their knowledge to see who, steps up to be exactly what you want. When it's not exactly character type things that you're looking at, it's more like superficial things that you're looking at. That is never a good idea. Angie from Jeff City, you got some advice for Cat Chat?
Yeah, I was listening to the Cat Chat. What would this girl feel if the guy was doing that to her? Like, flip it around.
That's a good question.
Wouldn't
yeah.
she be so mad to find out he butted her up against another girl and was like, you're second. You're not, I don't know if you're perfect for me.
Yeah, that is such a good point. And it's really important. I think that's a huge point, to always put yourself in the other people's shoes. Like, always think about others before ourselves. That's the first thing, I'm going to kind of give my final thoughts here. And that's the first thing that I thought of as well. Angie, so way to go. Like that, this is her thinking of herself and what she wants rather than the other person and the type of person that she can be for them and vice versa. So it's got to be like thinking of both parties in the relationship. And the thing here is, it's easy to look at her and be like, how shallow, what a jerk. She's a terrible person. Somebody even commented, what a terrible person. She doesn't deserve either guy. Well, I think it's really important to understand what I love about Cat Chat, what I love about you in Midmo and your advice that you give, and the experience that you share and your life experiences is that instead of attacking people, they may or may not have the same life experience that we have, and so this is our opportunity to be able to step in and teach people things to resolve things in a healthy way and to encourage them rather than tear them down. And it just takes practice doing that, and so like this is something that we can do. We can give her constructive advice, help. We can let her know based on what we've experienced in our own personal lives, and what we know, because she is very much younger, early 20s, and doesn't have isn't coming from a malicious place. She's coming from a place of just not knowing, and so it's really important to always tell people, hey, what about this? What about that? Think about this. Think about that. Susie, this is a time where you need to think about what's superficial, what's not. Do you really even know what you want? Look at that list and ask yourself, are these character traits that are going to last for a lifetime, or are they, superficial traits like money and things like that are not going to necessarily last or matter in the grand scheme of things?
Keep the Cat Chat going now on Facebook Y107 Morning Show.